So that was kind of where things started spiraling.
We realized on this trip that we're not as compatible as we thought we were.
Reprimanded me, I guess is the way to say it. And just like that would piss her off for me. I will be fair, I will be honest. I am to some degree stumped at the decision not to continue. So I asked her if she would like to go on a vacation trip to a European country of her choice.
More towards Eric instead of Brian, because I feel like a lot of people were like, man, I felt like she was vibing with Brian. Like, I don't know if you felt that as well.
Words that were hurtful to each other. And I held grudges against him, which caused me to be uncomfortable while being there. And I didn't want to be uncomfortable on a vacation.
Yeah, oh, here, let's go, okay, let's go. Yeah, she wanna make me her wife, but I don't wanna be her wife, okay. Slide by in the motherfucking range, I do the dash in the vintage, yeah.
YouTube, what is good with y'all? I'm back again with another Bloom Pop reaction video. Today we're reacting to Eric and Jocelyn's catch-up episode. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this episode. Let me know what else I should be reacting to. 98% of y'all not subscribed, so if you fuck with the video, then tap in and subscribe. Make sure you like the video and check out my playlist to see my other Bloom Pop reaction videos. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
Back to my channel. It's your host Arlette, and we are here today with Eric and virtually Jocelynn. Welcome, guys. How are we feeling
Hello.
today?
Feeling good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Jocelynn, how are you?
I'm all right, doing good. Thank you for asking.
Of course. So we did have you guys on episode, gosh, what episode was that? 12?
12, yeah.
Yeah, episode 12 of Pop the Balloon or Find Love, where you guys did end up matching. Okay, so is it going to be a yes for you for her?
Yes.
And is it a yes for you for him?
Yes.
We got a match! Okay, I'll take this mic and you guys can go on off. Oh, look at y'all go. Let's give it up for them, y'all. Let's give it up. And then, so, you know, from that point, Eric, we've had you on a few episodes, so we know quite a bit about you by now. Jocelynn, I think on there, you told us a little bit about yourself. If you want to just let us know a little bit more, like, you know, where you're from, what you like to do, all that good stuff.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, you all again. I'm Jocelynn from Prince George's County, Maryland. I'm just a regular girl working a 9 to 5. Not really that interesting. So yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. And so on the show we saw like you didn't really get any pop balloons on you. You did all of the popping. And near the last round, it was between Eric and another gentleman, Brian. What kind of made you lean more towards Eric instead of Brian? Because I feel like a lot of people were like, man, I felt like she was vibing with Brian. Like, I don't know if you felt that as well, but what kind of like helped you narrow down your thought process between the two of them?
Brian just didn't seem as genuine. It seemed like he was a flirt, and it didn't really seem like his words had actual meaning behind it. So that was one of the things that made me pop his balloon. Let me see what else. But he was great. The conversation was great. It just didn't seem like the words had value behind it. So that's what led to the process of elimination.
What does that even mean? Like, how do you know what the meaning behind his words are without asking him? I mean, maybe he'll lie to you and say he's not a flirt even though he is, but how do you know if you don't even ask, you don't even know him? And everybody in the audience is saying that you vibe with him, but you're like, nah, we didn't vibe. I do think she's very attractive though, very nice body, like, and she looks like a girl that's from PG County. I don't know if y'all know about PG County, but it's like a very affluent black area in Maryland. And then him, one thing I'll say is the voice did not match the look at all for me, for him. But I do really like his voice. Like, he seems really nice and like an intellectual, at least like that's the vibe I'm getting from him. And his outfit was kind of a little crazy on the show, but hey, whatever makes you feel good in your own skin, that's what you should wear.
Okay. And then Eric, we kind of saw this time around, you weren't super super fake, I guess we could say, but maybe it's a better selection. I don't know, what was it this
I
time
mean, you did
around?
have a pretty good selection this
Okay.
time for sure. Yeah, so
Got it.
that helped. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Well, I know everyone just kind of wants to jump right into things already. So, obviously, since you guys have matched on the show, have you guys gone on a date? Have you hung out? All that good stuff?
Yeah, we've gone on multiple dates.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, we've hung out.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You said multiple.
Multiple dates, yeah.
Oh, Jocelyn, you want to hop in there? Let me know about how the first date went.
The first date was really cool. It was right after we had the recording there. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay. Who chose that spot?
I tried to take her. I was looking for a nicer restaurant,
Okay.
but I was really impressed with the fact that she was just happy to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, which I think that told me a lot about her initially. You know,
Okay.
it just says that, yeah, I'm just chill and you don't have to try to impress me.
God. Okay, so she chose Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, well, she saw it and she was like, yeah, let's just go
Oh,
there. So,
okay. And then so this was right after the shooting, you said?
yeah.
Okay. And then from there, like, how did things go? How'd you guys, like, how was the communication? How'd you go about planning the second date?
Let me let her speak.
Jocelyn?
I'm sorry. So after that, we kept in contact. It was a lot of FaceTiming and a lot of just a lot of communication because we live in different states, different time zones, and we also have different schedules as well. So we kept in contact as much as possible. I would call him in the mornings. He would call me between his appointments. Whenever he was working.
Appointments.
What is it called? Appointments.
Appointments.
Yeah, so he would call me between. So whenever we had time, we would contact each other, and it worked very well. Our second date was to Dave and Buster's, I believe. I think our second date was Dave and Buster's. He came to Austin, and we had a great time. Yeah.
Okay. So how soon after did you go over to Austin?
Well, we matched on the 1st of June.
Okay.
And so we spent 2 weeks on FaceTime getting to know each other, asking
Yeah.
questions and all that stuff. And then I was traveling, working. And so we ended up, I ended up coming to Austin, I think, on the 26th.
Oh, wow.
So-
Okay.
Yeah. Was it 26th? 24th to 26th or so, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Nice.
then, just spent the week beforehand, we were going to do something else.
Okay. So the whole week you were out there in Austin, you guys were kind of like going out, doing different things.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay. So Dave and Buster's was one of them that you did out there.
Dave and Buster's was the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, any other fun stuff?
Well, she showed me some places that she was fond of.
Okay.
Some place by the, it's like a river. What's the name of that river place that we went to?
It's like Lady Bird Lake. It was like a boardwalk. It was pretty nice. He bought Capri. Capri's like really cool, yeah.
Yeah. She's allergic to Capri, by the way.
Uh-oh.
I am.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
I got hives. It was actually really bad.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how allergies work with pets and
Immediately.
stuff. like-
Immediately.
Immediately.
wow.
Yeah, like I broke out in hives after Capri like touched me. It was yeah.
Okay, so it was like he had. Sorry, is it a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
A girl. Okay, so so she had to like touch you in order for that to happen, or was like just like being in the same area?
I really truly it's never happened to me before. Capri,
Oh my
like
gosh.
I don't know how it happened. I was just playing with Capri. Next thing you know, I have like hives all over my arms and my legs. So
Did you have to go to urgent care or like it?
I
What?
thugged it out. I thugged it out a little bit. When I went home, I took a Benadryl and was knocked out. So it was cool.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad.
Got it. So that was the first and last time meeting Capri.
Yes. Oh, no. Well, I think you've been around Capri since, right?
Okay.
Because
Probably.
you,
I don't know.
you came to the Airbnb to pick me up and stuff, so you would see her at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And it happened again, or you popped a Benadryl beforehand?
No, I kept her away.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, so how was the time in Austin? Like, how was?
The whole time I was thinking that Capri was like some type of food. I'm like, what is Capri? But I guess it's like a dog or something. But I don't know, like from the FaceTime and the videos that I've seen, it's like totally different than the like vibe I'm getting from her right now. It also almost seems like he still likes her. So it's a little weird. It feels weird. I mean, I do think she's really attractive, so I feel like subconsciously I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. But it seems like he's going out his way to see her. He flew all the way to Austin, made all this time for her, and I just feel like she's acting like weird about it. I don't know, and yeah.
Was it like the time spending with each other, all that stuff?
It was cool. So I think he were downtown. I don't really want to give like where I live, but he was like downtown.
No, don't.
Yeah, he was a little bit further away from where I was staying. So whenever I got off of work, I would come down and see him. I think we hung out every day for the most part. Um,
Yeah, give or take a couple of days. Well, there was one day actually, I think,
One day what?
because you had to go to Houston, remember?
Yeah.
Oh.
My life, that's a story for another day. But yeah, I had to go to Houston. Now, ever since the show aired, a lot of things have been happening. But I did have to go to Houston like one night, and then I came back, and that's the day I didn't see him. But other than that night, yes, I saw him every day.
Like every other day. Wow. Okay, sounds like you guys are spending a lot of time getting to really know each other, all that good stuff. Okay, and then so the week in Austin.
Right?
After that, have you guys kept communication? How was that going?
Yeah, so about 2 weeks in, I was very excited. We were getting to know each other. I had lists and lists upon lists of questions. And every time I met her up, I would ask her all these questions, just trying to get to know her.
Okay.
And, I felt like we had a genuine connection. And it really hit me, the fact that she wasn't really interested in like going to like nice places and was just happy to do, regular things. So I thought it would be nice to do something special for her.
Okay.
So I asked her if she would like to go on a vacation trip to a European country of her choice. And
Well, all right then.
and so we ended up, she decided on Santorini because she had always wanted to go there. She'd never been there.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I planned for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So after you guys, you said you got to know each other, speak all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Right away, you were like, all right, pick a European country.
Well,
Like-
I was already traveling. So
Okay.
I was on the road. I'd been on the road for a month. And so I was nearing the end of it. And I thought it was coincidental that I was ending up in Austin and she lived in Austin. So I was saying at the end of this trip, I also need a break. So,
Okay.
So it just worked out that way. But
Got it.
yeah, I just wanted to, have fun and go out and do something adventurous together.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Santorini, Greece. What made you pick that place? First of all, let me backtrack. Were you shocked that, someone who you just met was asking you like, girl, let me take you out of the country? Like, how was that?
Uh,
I don't know. Like, it just is like the amount of effort that he's putting in to see her, spend time with her, take her to do all this stuff. Now he's going to take her to Santorini. Like, that's some Drake shit right there. Like, good Lord. Like, and I don't know. Like, that's just a little. If a girl told me she wanted to go to Santorini out of all places in Europe, I wouldn't like that, because I think there's a lot of other places in Europe that aren't just like, to me, Santorini is like going to Dubai. Like, it's like a flexi type place to go. And it's just, I just feel like that location, her choosing that, would be a red flag for me. I don't know if that's weird, but it just personally, it would.
it was definitely a shocking question. I haven't been asked that so early within like knowing a person.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was a love bomb, but hey, like I'm here for the delusion regardless. But I had a great time. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess obviously at that time, I know you said you don't want to say it was a love bomb, but obviously you were comfortable enough to be like, okay, I'll be okay with going out the country with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then so once you guys, got to Greece, how was that? Like, first of all, how was traveling together? Because like I know a lot of people are always like, man, traveling with someone really shows you how they are, all that stuff. Like, how was that?
That is, to be fair, why I did it. Was
Okay.
because we were getting to know each other, and so I was thinking to myself, you know, let's. It's not to say that we're speeding it up, but it's just to like know for sure.
Okay.
And I've had this experience before, where you travel with someone, and through that experience, you get to really see, you know, the literal shits and the the metaphorical shits of who they are, and they get to see you as well. And so I think at that point you can make more certain decisions
Yeah.
about to proceed or not
Okay.
to proceed.
So in the beginning, the traveling there, that was good for you guys. Like how, Jocelynn, I guess we'll start with you, Jocelynn. Uh-oh. She's shaking her head.
No, traveling there was great. We weren't really sitting next to each other all the time.
Is
It's a
there a
booking
reason?
booking error.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But overall, it was a great experience.
What, the traveling was a great experience, or the whole trip altogether?
I was specifically talking about like the traveling there part. It was pretty cool. It was nice.
Okay.
It wasn't like any issues traveling there.
Got it. Okay. So now once you guys have gone to Greece, did you guys have like a whole itinerary planned? Like who did the itinerary planning? I feel
Man, I feel like this is just he about to drop a bomb on us. Like some crazy shit happened when they were in Greece. Like, which is just also they said this video of him braiding her hair in the airport. Like, what, bro? This man is booking a whole trip to Greece. He's braiding her hair. This just goes to show that you have to have a girl that pours into you. This girl, I feel like she does not really like. I think she liked him, but I don't think she really poured into him. And I think that is classic pretty girl syndrome. Like, not to say that there isn't any pretty girls out there that is good, like loving, wifey quality people, but she just seemed like the type where she just wants guys to do a bunch of stuff for her. She's used to having her pick. Like she said, it wasn't the first time somebody had to try to take her out the country. It was just the first time someone had done this so early. So it's just like, bruh, like, what more does he have to do? And still, you found a way. How could this trip possibly go wrong after he's doing all this and all this for you? And it's like, didn't go good. I didn't like
I
it.
feel like you like to do that kind of stuff, or
I deferred to her. I wanted to
Okay,
I wanted to
good.
give her some options and see what she was into. But I think we tried to keep it loose so that
Okay.
every day would feel to some degree like a new adventure, you know.
okay. So you guys didn't do too many like activities, or you didn't plan too much, kind of.
I had an idea of an activity for each day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but there was definitely food involved. Restaurants.
so.
And, yeah, restaurant dates and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, walk me through the trip. Like, what'd you guys do? How did it go?
Well, the first day we just went to a restaurant down from where we were staying, and we had a very nice apartment overlooking the city. You know, could watch the sunrise, watch the sunset. It was really nice. We went on a boating trip to see some of the tinier islands,
Okay.
and yeah, I was just different restaurants.
Okay.
Really, yeah.
Nice.
Rented an ATV, and that's how we got around.
Very cool. So you had the ATV for the whole duration of the trip?
Yeah,
Okay. I didn't know that was.
yeah. No, over there you could just ride ATVs. You know, like
Wow.
yeah,
Because I know
cool.
like I haven't been to Greece, but
Yeah.
every time I look at Greece and other people's videos, I just see like a bunch of hills and houses on top of
yeah.
houses.
No,
so
it's tough to navigate for sure.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, "Hey, how y'all riding an ATV out there?"
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
and obviously, Jocelynn, you chose the place. So, like, did you have things in mind already that you're like, okay, when we get there, we have to do this? And were you guys able to do them?
Yeah, everything I wanted to do, we did. There was this
Okay.
area, like this town called Oya. It's where most of the houses are white, but there's a few blue tops, like blue
Oh,
roofs.
I've seen that. Yeah.
That was the main thing I wanted to do, so we saw that, and it was nice. We watched the
Nice.
sunset from there.
Okay. Okay. And obviously, I can tell like with the
Bro, she is so basic. Like Of course she want to go to Santorini just to go to Orie, whatever that place is called. Like, as soon as I thought about Santorini, I didn't even know that Santorini was, like, all that other stuff. Because all I ever see people take pictures of is that, like, white house area with that little blue top house. Like, it's just, bruh, it's giving basic. Like, of course she wants to go there, take her little picture in front of the White Houses, and it's like nothing else that you want to see. Like, if you went to Italy or you went to Athens, you don't even need to go to Santorini. You could go somewhere else in Greece. Go to Rome. You could go to London. You could go to Paris. There's so many other places with so much more to, like, see and do, as opposed to Santorini, where it's like islands, basically. It's like you might as well just go to the Virgin Islands or go to the Caribbean or some shit if you're gonna go to Santorini. Come on.
The viewers and everyone, and here I can feel that there is quite a lot of tension going on. So how did that trip end? Or
like, why are you always trying to get to?
Let's get to it, because I'm
Always trying
feeling
to
a
get to
lot of vibes right now, and I don't know if it happened on the trip, after the trip, or who wants to start it off?
We had our very first argument on the 29th.
Not you remembering the date.
Well, I'm a very detailed person.
Okay.
You know, I take a lot of notes. I try to be introspective, so it wasn't really a big deal, but should I talk about it, or?
I would just like to say that we realized on this trip that we're not as compatible as we thought we were. We just had disagreements, and we just realized that we're great people. We're just not great for each other. And I personally would like to leave it at that.
Even I will be fair, I will be honest. I am to some degree stumped at the decision not to continue. And we've spent a lot of time throughout the argument working through, the reactions, but never really addressing the initial cause.
Okay.
And, it did start off with her just saying she wants to leave. And
The first disagreement, she said,
that was the second disagreement.
Oh, okay.
The first disagreement was when I came to her place.
Austin.
The first time, yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I was staying at an Airbnb, but on the last day, I decided we were gonna go over there and pack and stuff. But everything was everywhere, messy. She seemed like she was doing a lot, so I wanted to step in and help. So I was going in to move some shoes around, and then she reprimanded me, I guess is the way to say it, and just like that would piss her off for me to move stuff around. And so
did you ask her before you just started moving stuff?
I didn't.
Okay.
But that's the thing is, I didn't want to make a big deal of it. She asked me to take the trash out.
Okay.
And I did. But I also felt like she had said to me that she would like to keep an open space, a safe space where I could just tell her things in the moment. So I think for me it was also a good point to test that out. Is it okay for me to tell you that the way you're saying that to me made me feel some type of way?
Okay.
So.
So obviously you guys worked through that one.
Worked through it, yeah.
You went to Greece afterwards still, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I get telling him, like, okay, I don't want you to move your stuff, but reprimanding me, get into an argument with me, like, over me trying to help. Like, that, at the end of the day, she has to realize that he was just trying to help in that situation. It wasn't like he was trying to control her or, like, take over something and put his mark on it. He was just trying to help and make things go more smoothly for her. That seems to be something we've seen through these videos, like him braiding her hair. Like, that's the mark of someone who's trying to help. He'll take out the trash. He seemed very gentlemanly, but women don't want, like, I swear, women like this, they don't want a nice guy. Like, they claim, oh, he's not right for me, all this and that. He's a great person. I'm a great person. We're just not great for each other. I'm gonna leave it at that. She's trying to, like, cover stuff up. So, because she knows that she's in the wrong and that she's really not ready for a relationship. And because she doesn't want the truth to come out, she tried to be like, oh, let's leave it at that.
We talked about it a bit at the airport. And then we went on a trip. Everything was great up until I think the the 5th day or so. Yeah, I don't want to go into too many details just for out of respect to her as well.
Yeah.
But I think that at some point I also, she wants to go slower, slow, which is fine. I was trying to be respectful of that as a boundary, but I felt that I'd been just going on at her speed for
Okay.
most of the time. So I also wanted to set some boundaries to help me respect her boundaries. So I think that's where the initial communication malfunction occurred, perhaps. And she, to backtrack, I when people argue, everyone argues a certain way. My way of calming down is to take breaks and move away and relax, write things down, and then come back and talk about them. And I told her this in the beginning. We were trying to figure out our argumentative styles. So when this happened, I took a break and I went to sit on a stoop, and and so while I was there just talking to a friend of mine, she sent me a text that she wanted to leave and asked if I could take her to the airport.
This is in Greece.
Yeah, that was in Greece, like
Okay.
about the 5th day or so. And so so I was just like, well, we have an ATV first of all, so I can't drive you to Greece. But I didn't want to do it. I said, if you want to go, you can go. But I asked her not to go. I said, just take a moment, calm down, relax, and then you can decide later on. So that was kind of where things started spiraling.
Okay, so Jocelynn, Eric kind of touched on a bit that at one point during the trip, I believe you said on the 5th day, you said that, yeah, I'm leaving, all that stuff. What led you to come to that point?
What led me to come to that point was how we disagreed. We said words that were hurtful to each other. And I held grudges against him, which caused me to be uncomfortable while being there. And I didn't want to be uncomfortable on a vacation when it's supposed to be a good time. The way we handled the situation in general just showed ourselves. Like I showed off, he showed off, and then it just wasn't a comfortable environment to be in, especially for it to be in a different country and we don't really know each other. I just didn't feel at ease being there for more days with him. So I felt like at the time, the best way to get out of an uncomfortable situation is to leave. I'm not saying that was the best decision. Maybe I could have stayed and talked to him and talked it out. But at the time, I did what felt right to me.
Okay. And so you did actually end up leaving.
Yes, I left.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then so after you left, have you guys been in any type of contact? And you can.
Bruh, like, he spent all this money. I know that trip was in the thousands to go to Greece and do all these activities and rent the ATV and do what she wanted to do. Keep in mind, whole time he's saying, I always deferred to her. I always tried to do what she wanted to do. And what it sounds like is she didn't want to get physical, like sexually. And, like, don't let somebody take you out the country and then you don't want to have sex. Don't go out the country with somebody, then be like, oh, I'm not comfortable around them because I don't know them well enough. And then, you leave because you knew that you didn't know him that well before you agreed to go on this trip. So now you've gone on the trip, you've gotten, your vacation or whatever, you got your opportunity to go to Santorini. Now you don't like him anymore. You're irritated or whatever. You're holding a grudge, she admits. And he's willing to move past it, though. He'll take some time, write it down. He's actually serious about the relationship. But it sounds like it's giving gold digger. Like, I want a guy to take me out the country, and then I'm not gonna, like, but you acting like there's free lunches, bro. Like, niggas ain't not trying to take you out the country for no reason, just for y'all to have a nice vacation and not like. And he's the whole time saying, oh, I'm trying to respect your boundaries, set boundaries, being very mature about it. And she just being pretty girl privileged.
Communication. You have.
Yeah, so after we left, Eric still had to come back to my apartment because we shared a suitcase coming there. So he still came back to my apartment. We talked it out. We hugged. Like we had like every discussion, every disagreement we had, we talked about off camera, and I've apologized. He's apologized. A lot of things were already discussed. So when he came back to the apartment, like it was fine. At least in my head, it was fine. I walked him to the door. It was cool. Like in my head, it was cool. And even afterwards, when he flew back to Las Vegas, I checked on him to make sure he landed safely, making sure he's getting sleep. He told me he's has more appointments. So we did keep in contact for the day after when we landed back in the States.
Okay, I see here. Jocelyn, you stated like, you know, you guys were having disagreements. You were saying like hurtful things to one another, all of that. How was it like dealing with those disagreements?
It was aggravating. We were disagreeing on things that we were disagreeing about the boundaries that we both set for each other, which is just very childish on both of our end. But after that, we chose to react off of our emotions at the time. So, yeah, in the morning time, I didn't really think that the situation was as bad as it was. But in the morning time, like Eric had like left, and I think you were doing laundry. I mean, he had things to do. I don't really want to say he was just up and left, but just that entire day, for the most part, we didn't really speak. It was either he was in the room and I was in the living room, or he was out shooting footage, or he was out doing laundry. So we just really weren't talking on the day after we had that huge disagreement. It was to the point, it was almost as if we were avoiding each other. And it was just weird.
So you got up the next day and just says,
Well,
"Go do your own
I
thing."
told her beforehand that I had to do laundry. I'd run out of clothes. I travel with a bag, you know. So I went out to do laundry. I went out running 3 miles up the hill. I was tired. When I came back, I went to bed. But before I went to bed, we'd made a plan, something she wanted to go see about 5 p.m. or so.
Okay.
And I'd slept through it. And when I woke up, I asked her, hey, you still want to go do that thing? And she's like, no. So I was like, okay, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to go and shoot some pictures or something. I'd lost the key to the apartment. So I had to go back and look for it. So that's what I did instead. So I was going back to the location where I'd run to. I found the key, I came back. And that's then where we had another set of conversations.
Okay.
Because she kind of called me to the couch and like, hey, what's going on? You know? And so I told her, I was like, nothing's wrong. I'm fine. I just feel like I have to be a bit more distant about cuddling and, you know, kissing, because it feels sometimes when I try to do it, it seems like you're uncomfortable. You kind of back away.
Okay.
You know, she wants to kiss, she doesn't want to make out, you know, things like that. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to be too overbearing. So I'm going to kind of create a little bit of a boundary. Still want to go do things, you know, but she didn't wake me up, and she said that I should have set an alarm. So, you know, I called her passive. I said that was a passive statement because we're in this together. So, you know, wake me up.
Right, like if you want him to do something, you're gonna get attitude with him because he didn't do it. Why didn't? It's not like she tried to wake him up and he didn't wake up. It's just on him to wake up. It's that fake ass like, oh, I want a dude who leads and plans and does all this. Well, I'm doing all this other stuff, and if you really want stuff to happen, we're a team. You know, you could easily have just chosen to wake me up, but you chose not to, clearly, because you're passive aggressive. It could even be self-destructive. Like, you know, you have a good man, but you're really not ready for the relationship, so you're gonna come up with reasons and make up stuff and choose not to wake him up to cause an argument. Things like that's the type of stuff that women do. And I think also, like, the whole, she not only doesn't want to have sex, she doesn't want to make out. That's crazy, like, diabolical. And, you know, like, so he's not going to kiss, and we're not going to get all physical, all that other stuff, because you don't want to, even make out is just like insane to me. Like, we've gone to Santorini. I've came to Austin to see you. We've hung out for weeks and you don't want to make out? Like, that is just mind-boggling to me. And then she does seem very passive aggressive. Like, this whole episode, she's been passive aggressive, and I think that was a very fair thing for him to say about her. But, you know, once again, the pretty girls just be getting away with anything. So they're not used to actually having to change and getting themselves ready for the right man.
And yeah.
So all of this was before she said, "I'm leaving"?
No, she'd already said she was leaving in the afternoon.
Okay.
So she just decided. I mean, this is literally, I went outside to take a break and she sent me a text, "I'm going to the airport." It was so abrupt. It caught me off guard. So I was like, you know, like, what's this nonsense? The Nigerian in me came in and I was like, you know, I don't understand what you mean you're leaving. Go take
Yeah.
a break and relax. If you want to get an Airbnb, go get an Airbnb. You don't leave, you know, there's nothing to leave.
So how long did you guys have this trip booked for?
7 days.
7 days. Okay. And then Jocelyn, you ended up leaving on the 5th day or the 6th day, or what day was it?
Was it the 4th? Was it the 5th day?
6th.
I left on the 6th day? Okay.
You left on the 6th day, yeah.
I see. Okay. So with him, with that thing you guys wanted to do, you didn't want to just like wake him up, or what was going on with that part?
So, we already knew that there was tension before then. Before he took the nap, before everything, like the big argument happened the day before. So when he went to sleep, I don't know, it's like, I don't really know how to explain it. I could have woken him up, to answer your question. I could have woken him up. However, it was already talked about what I wanted to do. It was already a time that we set. I don't know. I'm just considerate. So if I would have done that to somebody else, or somebody else would have planned something that they really wanted to do and they're dependent on me for transportation, I would have made sure that I was present for that moment. And I never woke Eric up ever. I don't wake people up out of their sleep. I would hate for somebody to wake me up out of my sleep. We actually talked about this as well. Like, that's something that we just don't do.
Oh, that's different.
I don't wake people up. That's one thing I don't like. If you oversleep, like, you oversleep. Like, it wasn't a life or death situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he overslept, then he overslept. I was upset back in the day. Like, we didn't go to something I wanted to do. Okay. Like, it was fine.
So would you say like that was like the last straw for you, him oversleeping?
No, the last straw was the day before. I don't really know. So with me, it's like once my mind is made up on something, it's pretty much made. So when I booked the flight, it was kind of like already like anything he did after that was kind of like, okay, I see. I'm leaving soon anyway.
On this 7-day trip, or 6, I think you said you left on the 6th, on what day did you realize, yeah, this is it for me, I'm done?
That's a great question. It wasn't. Let me see. Give me a second. I don't really remember what day it was when it hit me like I'm done. It was just a feeling that I had when I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not arguing anymore. I'm not being upset anymore. You know, it wasn't necessarily like, oh, this day I got mad. It was just really like a feeling like I don't want to feel like this. I don't have to feel like this, you know? So that's really what happened. I don't know what day that was. I really don't know. It was probably
The entitlement, like, I don't have to feel like this. I don't want to feel like this. Like, the least that you could have done is waited till the 7th day, you know, go back home, you know, put on a face, whatever it is. Do your best to be nice, you know. He was okay with taking some time apart, even though he planned this vacation. And it's just like, it sounds like what happened is she gets a feeling that she doesn't really like him, that she can't really explain through logic. Because that's typical of women. They just kind of get feelings and they don't really think through why they feel this way. Or think about how can we resolve this together. They think, I'm feeling this way. I don't really know this guy that well, even though he's put in all this effort to be with me and we match on the show, whatever. I don't care. I just don't really like him. So I'm going to do my own thing. And then she books her flight. She makes up her mind. I'm done with this guy, and that's really it. There's no way that you're changing their mind, and it's just like very passive aggressive. It's very pretty girl syndrome. It's very ungrateful and entitled, and you just. I don't know what to say. Like, look at his face right now, bro. Shorty looks fed up with this woman. Like, he cannot feel like he can't even. This is why you don't do stuff with women quickly. You wait until they deserve it. You don't know. You just maybe we'll take a trip to somewhere in the States, but going to Santorini, are you crazy? And then this whole like, oh, I'm not gonna wake him up. Like, that's BS. If you really want to do something with somebody, she's all putting it on him. Like, I knew I really wanted to do it. He didn't wake up on time. And then she admits self-destruction. I knew that this was just gonna make me more mad, and I just didn't care, basically. Like, I already had made up my mind, basically, and this was just another like added bonus.
The other day I booked the flight, to be honest, but I just had a feeling. I'm like, I don't want to argue with this man anymore. I don't want to be uncomfortable in a foreign country with this man anymore. So that's really what it was. But afterwards, I didn't want to have a dating relationship with Eric anymore, because I think Eric can still be a great person. So I was hoping that we can have a platonic, just cordial friendship afterwards. I know I didn't want to date him anymore, but I didn't want it to be as if he's out of my life completely, because he is cool. Like, Eric is a cool guy. Like, honestly, he's cool. He has a lot of skills, plays instruments. He's a really cool guy, honestly. He has a lot of great qualities about himself. I just didn't want to date him anymore. So, yeah.
Okay. Eric, anything you want to add to that? So we could just wrap this up.
I take notes, so I have the dates. July 5th was the day we went to dinner. It was the day that we had a conversation. You asked me to tell you what my expectations were of you. I told you that I would like more hugs. I said you're bad at hugs. Remember that? So she said, yeah, I'm going to work on that, you know. And I told her that I felt like every time I gave her hugs, maybe she was feeling like it was trying to lead to something else. I'm like, no, the hug is really just a hug. Like, just put your arm around my head, and that's all it needs to be, okay. You know? And so she's like, yeah, I'll do better. And that was that. The dinner was great. The next morning is when I went for the run early, and I wake up early, I go for the run. So when I came back, she wanted to have a conversation that afternoon because she said things were seeming weird and I seemed distant. So I was trying to explain to her why I was distant. Okay. First of all, I was tired, but second of all, I'm just trying to give you some space, and I don't want to feel like I'm overcrowding you, essentially. And it was literally within 20 minutes of that conversation, she sent me the text, can you take me to the airport? So it came out of nowhere, literally.
Okay. All right. Well, after this trip, did you guys, I know you said, did you guys communicate at all after this trip, or was she left and that was it? I think you had mentioned you guys shared a suitcase, so eventually you had to see him again. So how did that happen?
It was cool. Like, honestly, so from everything that we just expressed to us getting back to Austin, we had conversation. Everything seemed fine. We came to understanding that we both said things that didn't need to be said. We both did things that didn't need to be done. Like, we've had conversations and everything was fine in my eyes. I thought everything was fine. When we got back to Austin, we talked about the trip. We said our goodbyes. He got his stuff, walked him to the door. He left. Yeah, and the next day he took a flight. I checked on him. I was like, "Hey, are you at the airport? Did you make it there on time?" He was like, "Yeah." It was just regular. It was regular conversation, as if you're checking in on a person who's taking a flight. That's really what it was. I made sure he landed.
But meanwhile, I was like, why are you checking in on me after you've just walked away from me? You know, like I'm like, the thing was weird to me because I was like, if this is a simple disagreement two people can have, we've apologized to each other, so we continue. It's two arguments. It's not enough to decide you don't want to speak to someone anymore.
So in your head, after that trip, and after she was checking in on you, you were still in the thought process that you guys were still dating.
After the I'm sorry, I forgive you, I forgive you. I thought, okay, yeah, we're back on track. We've sorted it out.
Okay.
So
And then, so how did you find out that you guys are no longer dating?
well, she sent me some pictures to edit. I edited the pictures. I sent them back to her. We, she went to London, which we by the way, we had a whole day because she booked the trip at 6 p.m. on the 6th. So we had still the whole day to spend together. We were sitting on the couch. We were cuddling on the couch.
This
finally.
is in Austin?
No, this was still.
Oh,
This
so
was
you're
the day after.
backtracking back to
I'm
Greece.
backtracking, yeah. So she's already had a decision to leave. She's already bought the tickets. There's nothing we can do about that.
Okay.
We've apologized to each other. She's more calm. I'm more calm. So from that point on, I'm like, okay, well, maybe everything's fine.
Okay.
So the next day, when the day
When she
the
leaves.
6th, yeah, the day she's leaving, we're still cuddling on the couch. Like we watched a movie together. We went to breakfast. So that's where the confusion is, because it's like, if you're that angry, why are you so comfortable still being next to me, still cuddling with me? See what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it just creates a lot of
So
confusion
then,
for me.
from Austin to Las
Because she doesn't know what she wants. She just wants the best of both worlds. I want to leave when I want to leave. I want a man that's okay with my decisions and is not going to like reprimand me for doing something that's stupid and inconsiderate. But then after I do all that, I want to cuddle with him, even though I just want him to be a friend. Like, they just want whatever they want in the moment. And then she's like, he's not looking for a friend. She doesn't get that. Like, clearly he just doesn't want to be friends with her. Like, there's a lot of guys out there that want to just be friends, even if they've talked to somebody romantically. And there's guys that do not want to be friends after. And he just strikes me as somebody who doesn't. And it's just like, oh, well, I don't really care what you want. I just want what I want, which is I want you to be a friend.
Vegas. She said, obviously, she's checking on you, make sure you get there okay. In your head, everything's still good.
No, when I got to her apartment, I had to ask her one last time. I'm like, tell me straightforward. Are we still good? Are we not good? Are we not dating?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I have no interest in further dating. So I was
Okay.
like, all right, sounds good. I won't bring it up anymore.
Got
And
it.
from
So
that point
that
on,
was the last point.
from that point on, yeah, it was done. But the next morning, she's still checking on me on my flights. So again, see what I'm saying? I'm like, if we're done, why are you checking on me?
I mean, she said she thinks you're a cool person.
I understand, but
You're a
I'm not.
human
I'm
being
not.
that she
I'm
cared
not
for at one
looking. I'm not
point.
looking for no friends. I got plenty female friends that are just my friends.
Okay.
So it's like, if we're not dating, like,
So you want to just
cut the losses
cold
and move
turkey,
on.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah, which is what I tried to do. I just didn't respond anymore, and I was just, just letting it fizzle out. It's only been a month. That's not, anyone can recover from that.
Yeah.
There's no hard emotional investment.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously we.
It's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much everything I had. Any final thoughts on your end? No, Jocelyn's like, no. All right. So any upcoming projects?
Okay, we don't care about their projects. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this episode. Let me know what else I should be reacting to. I think I've said enough about her and about him. I just think that they're just not compatible. He's ready to be in a relationship. She isn't ready to be in a relationship. She's just kind of like playing around still. I wouldn't be surprised if she's a younger woman, like in her mid-20s or maybe even late 20s, because a lot of women still are immature because they're not forced to mature. Especially, it sounds like she comes from a privileged environment. She's from PG County. She just, I don't know, like, she expects so much and seems to give so little. She can't even give him a good hug. Like, it's pathetic. But Make sure you subscribe if you made it to the end of the video. Like the video. Check out my playlist to see my other Bloom Pop reaction videos. I'm gonna get up out of here. Hope you have a great day. Peace.
Okay, let's go, okay, let's go. Yeah, yeah. She wanna make me her wife, but I don't wanna be her wife, okay. Slide by in the motherfucking range, I do the dash in a vintage, yeah.